At 0100 hours, a tense atmosphere hangs over the Pokrovsk operational area. The stillness of the early morning air belies the imminent combat operation. Positioned near a paved road, a BM-27 Uragan multiple launch rocket system is identified. Its imposing frame presents a significant and formidable threat on the battlefield. Meanwhile, miles away, the drone control team is focused on their screens. Operators from the Phoenix FPV drone unit are verifying the final targeting coordinates. They analyze thermal signatures relayed from the drone's camera feed. A crucial final check confirms the stability of their communication frequencies. The objective, as stated in the briefing, appears deceptively simple. Their task is to neutralize the enemy rocket system before it can unleash its payload. However, every member of the team understands the immense risk involved. Even the smallest miscalculation could result in catastrophic failure. By 01 to 2 hours, the final preparations are proceeding with urgency. The weapon of choice is a lightweight FPV drone constructed with a carbon fiber frame. These drones have a limited flight endurance, capped at a maximum of 20 minutes. The operators are now holding the ready-to-launch systems. Each drone is armed with a shaped charge warhead designed for precision. While small, its explosive power is lethal if delivered to a critical component of the target. The navigation systems are configured to a manual hybrid mode. This setting is a proactive measure against potential signal jamming. The pilots mentally rehearse their flight path to the target. They map out terrain features, power lines, and open areas in their minds. This mental exercise is akin to an artilleryman calculating a complex fire mission. Fresh intelligence reports confirm the Uragan is not static. Its crew is actively preparing it for a fire mission, leaving no more time to wait. At 0203 hours, the operation commences. The infiltration phase begins as a trio of drones is launched into the air. They accelerate rapidly, flying low to the ground like projectiles. The flight plan involves closely following the terrain to evade detection. Onboard cameras transmit the stark image of the dark asphalt road below. Overhead, the silhouette of power lines shimmers against the sky. A lead pilot directs the approach while the other two operators maintain their positions in the formation. In the initial moments of the flight, the control signal remains strong and stable. Soon, however, the feed begins to degrade due to electromagnetic interference. The telemetry data starts to flicker and become unreliable. Positional data becomes erratic, forcing the pilot to switch to full manual control. He now navigates based purely on the raw visual feed from the drone's camera. In this environment, pilot instinct becomes more critical than corrupted digital information. At 02:05 hours, the team encounters their first unexpected challenge, an enemy patrol. The drone's camera identifies to hostile personnel moving towards the target zone. The drone formation is immediately altered to counter this new development. Two of the drones ascend to a higher altitude. They establish an overwatch position to provide reconnaissance and situational awareness. The third drone, meanwhile, maintains its low-altitude profile, searching for a safe corridor. This improvised maneuver is fraught with considerable risk. A sudden crosswind pushes against the drone, threatening to alter its trajectory. The video feed momentarily stutters. A single error in control could lead to a crash. Despite the pressure, the operators maintain their unwavering focus. Radio communications become clipped, punctuated by the sound of tense breathing. All non-essential chatter ceases, replaced by brief, direct commands. The mission clock reads 0310 hours. The team encounters a second obstacle, this one a sophisticated visual trap. Reflective materials have been strategically positioned around the Uragan's location. This is a countermeasure designed to confuse the drone's onboard image recognition algorithms. The FPV feed is filled with glinting reflections that mimic the shape of metallic objects. The drone's automated avoidance system begins to react to these false signals. It incorrectly interprets the reflections as genuine physical obstacles. The pilot immediately executes a manual override, seizing direct control from the automated system. During a few seconds that stretch into an eternity, the pilot relies solely on skill. He threads the drone through an incredibly narrow opening in the visual clutter. It's a corridor that was nearly invisible to the naked eye, a feat only achievable by a human operator willing to accept the immense risk. This moment perfectly illustrates the synergy of modern warfare. Algorithms provide data, but the human makes the final, critical decision. By 03:45 hours, the mission is reaching its critical phase. Live intelligence feeds show increased activity around the Uragan. Its launcher panels are opening. The enemy crew is visible, making final preparations on the rocket launch tubes. The drone operators instantly recognize the significance of these actions. If they do not strike immediately, a rocket barrage is inevitable. The window of opportunity is closing. Concise commands are relayed over the radio. The designated attack drone begins its final terminal approach to the target. The two other drones maintain their observation orbit, ready to document the strike. They are also on standby for potential follow-up attacks if the first is unsuccessful. In the control station, the lead pilot's heart races. Every subtle vibration of the aircraft is transmitted through the controls into his hands. The time is now 03:58 hours. The attack is executed. The FPV drone pitches forward into a steep dive. Through its camera, the target rapidly expands to fill the operator's view. The massive silhouette of the Uragan now dominates the entire screen. The operator makes a final, minute adjustment to the angle of attack. He dips the drone lower, aiming for a known vulnerability in the vehicle's structure. As velocity increases, the sound of air rushing past the drone is audible in the feed. With only meters to spare, the warhead makes contact with the side of the launch vehicle. A brilliant flash of light momentarily obliterates the darkness. The initial detonation is relatively small and contained. However, it is powerful enough to ignite the vehicle's fuel supply. At 04:00 hours, the fire begins to spread with alarming speed. The Uragan is now engulfed in flames originating from its undercarriage. Within seconds, the inferno reaches the rocket launch module. A massive secondary explosion erupts from the vehicle. The sound of fracturing metal signals a catastrophic pressure, expanding outwards. The entire event is captured by the circling observation drones. Their footage documents a massive war machine being neutralized by a single, precise strike. A shower of sparks rapidly intensifies into a raging fireball. The intense heat begins to consume the vehicle's entire structure. Flames arc from one section of the chassis to another. Eventually, the entire weapon system is obscured by a column of thick, black smoke. In the hours that follow, the enemy's response is observed to be chaotic and disorganized. Some personnel make a brief attempt to fight the fire with makeshift equipment. They are quickly forced to retreat. The retreat is prompted by another powerful detonation that rocks the entire area. On the observation drone's display, human figures can be seen fleeing the scene. All coordinated action has ceased. The vicinity is now an uncontrolled hazard zone. In a matter of minutes, the primary mission objectives have been achieved. The target has been destroyed, and its crew has been scattered. This action effectively severs a critical rocket attack vector aimed at friendly positions. Within hours, an initial after-action analysis is transmitted to higher command. The loss of a single Uragan system represents far more than just the removal of one combat vehicle. It signifies the loss of a significant area denial capability. This system was capable of delivering rocket salvos that could devastate large sections of the front line. For the enemy's artillery corps, this is a major blow. They have lost a foundational pillar of their long-range firepower. To enemy commanders, the strike sends an unmistakable message. Their high-value assets and logistical routes are no longer secure. Even behind the immediate front, from a purely tactical perspective, the operation was a success. It showcases the decisive advantage gained from effective synergy. This was a combination of accurate intelligence, swift execution, and the courage of the drone operators. Analysis shows the enemy had deployed countermeasures, including ground patrols. They also utilized visual decoys and electronic warfare assets. Yet, all of these defensive layers were defeated by rapid, adaptive human decision-making. The success was also due to the inherent agility of these small, unmanned systems. This engagement is a case study in modern asymmetric conflict. Battlefield superiority is no longer determined solely by the size of a weapon or its explosive payload. It is now increasingly defined by the ability to adapt and innovate at decisive moments. The strategic repercussions of this single strike are immediate and significant. The enemy has effectively lost its medium-range offensive strike capability in this particular sector. This will compel them to redeploy other high-value assets much further from the front lines. Such a move inherently reduces their operational flexibility. It also slows their reaction times and increases the psychological strain on their forces. In the coming days, their command will be forced to overhaul their force protection doctrine. This will likely involve increasing the number of security patrols. They will also need to relocate similar rocket systems to better concealed positions. Conversely, this operation highlights a growing trend. The success of the Phoenix FPV unit symbolizes a profound evolution on the battlefield. It demonstrates how small, specialized units equipped with low-cost technology can successfully neutralize military hardware value in the millions of dollars. Key enablers include high-resolution FPV cameras and low-latency video transmission systems, combined with advanced aerodynamic designs. These tools permit close-range attacks with surgical precision. This successful mission is further evidence of a fundamental shift in modern warfare. The paradigm is no longer dominated by who possesses the largest weapons. Instead, it favors those who can most effectively exploit the low-altitude airspace. The entire operation serves to illustrate a significant doctrinal shift, a shift away from the dominance of heavy, armored platforms towards the rise of light, fast systems. This new era is defined by intelligent and agile offensive technologies. For the attacking force, this victory is proof that an operator's skill and courage, when combined with tactical ingenuity, can overcome an adversary's material superiority. For the defending force, it serves as a stark warning. Every vulnerability in their defensive posture can and will be exploited. Any lapse in vigilance can have fatal consequences. This concludes our analysis.